In this video, we're going to be looking at how the direction that you face in life determines where you end up, where you're going to get to. We are going to be doing a bit of a navigation challenge, following a few different directions with Hettie in our little red car, and we will be giving you some huge announcements. Not one, not two, but three big announcements. Hi! Welcome to another upload from our safe space to explore the big issues of life and faith. Today we have three big announcements. What? Not one, not two, but three big announcements. Wow. The first one is... we have new glasses! Yay! Wow! I'm sure you're just as excited about that as we are.
What do you think? You like them?
I promised that our second two big announcements, which you will find later in the video, are actually exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got new glasses because we went on holiday and it's been a little while and now we're back and new glasses.
Yeah. We also have some shout-outs.
Oh, we do.
Always exciting.
Today's shout-out's kind of to a big general group of people, isn't it?
We've been posing the question, how are you feeling about going back to school and that kind of thing? And a lot of people are feeling a bit apprehensive, a bit anxious. Yeah. Some people are okay, excited to see their friends. But we want to just give a shout out to all of you that have gone or are about to go back to school. You're awesome and you can do it. And keep going. We're cheering you on. We're here for you. Here.
Absolutely, we are. In fact, talking about what it means to be cheered on and to be celebrated and to be a part of this safe space community, like you all are if you're watching this, we thought we'd ask our rooted question. This week's question from our rooted pack of cards is, what do you think it means to belong? Ooh, deep question there. What does it mean to belong? To belong to something or belong to someone or a group of people or what does that feeling of belonging mean for you?
Yeah, because I think there's always a thing within humans that we want to belong to something and we want to belong in terms of like people and friends and we need community around us. I think it's quite important. That.
Even the most introverted people, so I'm told, need to at least see other people at some point and to belong in some way to something. And belonging brings purpose to people. Belonging means a great deal. So maybe pop your answer in the comments to this question if you have a thought. What do you think it means to belong? And so today we're going to be talking a bit about that belonging though. We're going to be talking about what it means to be a part of community and what our community as Safe Space Online really means and what we're about. So we will get there, but first, we have a bit of a challenge that we had together.
Yeah.
Hettie, how would you describe your navigation skills?
Not the best.
Okay.
Not great at reading a map, I'll put it that way.
No, and do you often find your way around places with great ease and comfort?
Not often with great ease and comfort. No. Sometimes I find my way around just about.
Well, we thought we'd have a bit of a challenge, a bit of an experiment. We'd put Hettie behind the wheel of our little red car and we would see where she ends up. Because I'm going to navigate.
Oh dear.
We don't usually do it this way around, but I'm going to navigate and I'm going to follow a list of predetermined, random left and right instructions, and we're going to start somewhere and then see where we end up. But to demonstrate to you that the direction that you are facing makes all the difference in where you end up, we are also going to start on the same spot, facing a different direction, follow exactly the same instructions though, and see where we end up that way as well. So here's a bit of recording of us out on the road. did you find your driving challenge, Hettie?
It was all right.
Yeah.
We ended up somewhere.
Yeah, quite interesting how we got to those different places.
Yeah.
Because actually, it's kind of obvious that was going to happen. That we'd end up in different places, but it's a bit fun, you know. But actually, facing different directions, we end up in different locations.
True, we do.
What's important though is actually if you look at that as a bit of an illustration, like the way we feel in ourselves. Not where we want to physically be, but actually how we need to change how we're feeling perhaps sometimes, or embrace the way we're feeling about something. Actually, the way we face and the direction that we're looking in affects us getting to that point. For instance, when we look
in towards ourselves and in our own lives, actually that helps us find some time for ourselves perhaps, where we might be able to relax and to rest and to have a bit of me time, like people sometimes say. Yeah. Or sometimes you might look out instead of looking in, and you look to the needs of other people.
So we're going to talk about 3 directions. 3 directions that we can be facing in order to get ourselves into a better place from where we currently are. And those 3 directions are 3 directions that I think we need a healthy balance of. The first direction is, it's like we already mentioned, our first direction is in, and how sometimes it's important to have a bit of me time, a bit of time focused on ourselves, a bit of time thinking about actually, I've got a few needs right now and I need to meet them myself, and I can meet them myself, and I'm going to do something positive for myself to meet those needs. Perhaps it's resting in some way, finding something that's restful, or perhaps it's something to boost your physical health, something physically active to help you, or something that's quite related actually around our mental health, doing something that helps us with our mental health and our well-being. That's really important in how we care for ourselves and look after ourselves. Or perhaps it's doing something simply that we just enjoy, something that you really like. Or perhaps it's doing something that you know that you're quite good at, because actually sometimes we might not be feeling all that great in ourselves, and doing something that we know we're good at helps us to feel a bit better in ourselves. And so the first direction is making sure we're looking after ourselves, caring for ourselves, and looking in. But it doesn't all stop there, because we can't just go around being selfish all the time.
Our second direction is out. It's important that we live in a world where we think about others as well as ourselves. Sometimes we need to think about ourselves. Sometimes we need to think about what we need. But also it's really healthy and really important that we think about others. It's good for our own mental health to do things for other people. That's scientifically proven. So what can we do to make a difference to other people? If we lived in a world where people only thought about themselves, it'd be a pretty selfish, prideful world. But actually, we can have humility. Humility isn't where we think less of ourselves and think we're not very good. It's simply where we think of ourselves less. We spend less time thinking about ourselves and more time thinking about other people, which again is different at different times depending on what you need. Sometimes you need someone to be there for you. Other times you've got the space to be there for someone else. So what can you do to be there for someone else? Perhaps it's at home and you kind of get the feeling that somebody's not doing too well, they're stressed, they're busy, they're tired. What could you do to help them? How could you ease things for them? Or your friends. Maybe one of your friends is struggling a bit and you could help them out. Or maybe actually you know they need to do something fun and you know what they love to do and they love cricket. Maybe you don't even like cricket, but you could go and do that with them because you know that they need that and that they love to do it. Also, in your school, in your class, you can look out too. You can look out to the needs of other people in other year groups. If you're not in year 7, you could look to support the new year 7s in your school. Or as a class, you could support a charity in some way. And as a whole school, people often support charities. So what could you do as an individual and as a group where you're reaching out, you're looking outwards to the needs of other people and not only the needs of yourself.
And so the third direction that we want to challenge you to think about whether you've got some space to think in this way and to face this direction today isn't to look in at ourselves or out at other people. The third direction is about looking up. How can you find space to think above and beyond yourself? To broaden your mind and to address some of those bigger questions in life. Like for us, we create safe spaces to explore the big issues of life and faith. And we know from the people we talk to that faith can look very different for different people. Perhaps you might express your faith in a different way to someone else, or perhaps you might have a very, very different shape of faith. Perhaps someone might believe in God, but yet another person is atheist. Or perhaps someone just doesn't know what they believe in that sense, but yet they express their faith in a different way. Their definition of faith might mean something completely different. For me and Hettie, we're both Christians. And so Christianity is a religion that hopefully you've learnt about in RE alongside other religions, I hope, as well. And for us, we express our faith, we look up by thinking about God, by praying, by learning more about God's love and forgiveness for ourselves and what to believe about that, by getting to know Jesus through the Bible and also through how we live our day-to-day lives as well. But we know that obviously faith is different for different people. People have different religions and believe different things. And so we think that actually looking up is something that is for people of all faiths and none. Because looking up is really important. Looking up isn't just about whether you believe in God or not. Looking up is about thinking above and beyond ourselves, asking some of those bigger questions, those higher questions in life. Questions like, who am I? What's my purpose? Why are we here? In our Safe Space videos on YouTube, we often ask a question from our Rooted pack of cards made by Scripture Union. And those questions are often up-type questions. Questions like, what brings happiness? What is happiness? Or questions like, what is good? How would you describe good? Or how would you describe evil? Or questions like, how would you describe love? Or hate? What's the difference between love and hate? What does living life to the full mean? What are the injustices that we see in the world? Or what should we be doing as people, as the human race, to look after the world better, to care for the environment, and what's our place and our role in all of that? Those are big questions that are beyond our everyday thinking. Those are questions that are up questions. By definition, faith isn't about knowing something for certain or having something that's proven, but it's about those questions where there isn't an exact certain answer necessarily, but it enables us to broaden our mind and grow in how we think and how we feel and who we are. Okay, and so our challenge for you today is to think about for yourself, what direction do you need to be facing right now? Do you need to find some way of meeting your own needs? Do you have a bit of space to meet someone else's needs by looking out? Or do you have a bit of space to sit back and ponder at some of the bigger questions in life, broaden your mind and grow as a person by looking up? And so earlier we mentioned what it means to belong. We talked about community a little bit. And so actually as Safe Space online and across Southport in schools, we wanted to look at these three directions for ourselves as not just an individual, but as a community through Safe Space. How can we look in towards the needs of each other within our Safe Space community? Usually we would do that in school by having a bit of social time in our lunch clubs or a bit of time to play games and things like that. But actually, how can we do that right now when we're not doing the lunch clubs because of all the COVID stuff? Well, we have a big announcement.
A big announcement!
A big announcement!
Whoa!
An actual exciting announcement is that we have listened to your feedback.
We have.
And we haven't just got new glasses, but we have decided to go live not once a week.
What?
Not twice a week.
What?
But 3 times a week.
What?
Safe Space Live will be hitting your screens at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, Thursday and Friday.
Wow.
Because Wednesday is the day that we would usually be in Greenbank High School or Birkdale High School.
True.
And Thursday is usually the day that we would be in Meals Cop High School. And Friday is because we didn't want anyone to feel left out if we don't always go to your school all the time. So we are having 3 times a week. We're going to be going live with our purpose of having a bit of community time with those of you who follow what we do and subscribe to our channel, and that because we really want to give us a bit of space to do a bit of community.
And as a safe space community, we also want to be making sure we're looking out. We're looking out to the needs of others. And sometimes when we're actually physically in school, we do different projects, different giveaways that help us to think outwards to the needs of other people around us. But for you right now, something you can do is sharing these videos with other people that might need it. If you've got a friend and you know they need one of the specific videos, perhaps around our Real Talk series, and you know they're struggling with something, you could send it to them. Or you know they need a laugh, send them Tabs doing kick-ups. What can you do to think about other people right now as this community? And you might actually have some ideas for us that you can drop in the comments to let us know what we could do as a community to reach out to others.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at for doing in together, for doing out together, but also our last big announcement on the subject of giveaways. We have a giveaway because our rooted pack of cards with all the questions that we talk about all the time, where we look up, is not just a pack of cards.
What?
It's also a journal.
What?
A full journal for you to spend some time thinking and reflecting, broadening your minds, looking up, thinking in an up kind of way, above and beyond just ourselves, thinking about those big questions in life, and just sitting back. If you would like one, we have a limited number to give away for free. Not to sell, but to give away. And you can get yours delivered to your door by going to this link on our website, filling in your name and where you live, and we will bring it to you. We'll keep your details private and all that kind of stuff, obviously. But if you would like one, it is first come, first serve on our rooted journals. We are really, really happy to give them away. We've used them and we absolutely love them. They are really, really good.
Yeah.
And so do go to that link and let us know if you'd like one.
Brilliant. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, drop us some comments, let us know what you think, what you need at this time in Up Out. And also make sure you subscribe so you can see the latest video and share the videos with your friends. And we will see you next time for more. Bye!
Bye!